This is Susan Wilbanks with blendedinsight.com. I am a holistic and integrative healing arts practitioner, an intuitive, and an energy healer. In this podcast, I share tips, tools, and suggestions that have helped me along my path in hopes of inspiring and helping you along yours. Let's get started with today's podcast topic.
Good morning. Hello, bright soul. I got you there, didn't I? Because you're so used to me starting out with hello, bright soul. Anyway, I hope you all are well, and I am coming to you from a beautiful, rainy spring day here in Colorado. We don't get rain very often, but I'll take it. It's not snowing. I'll take it. Anyway, I'm going to go right into the topic for today, and that is arguing for limitations. We've got to stop this, people. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Lo and behold, I will share something that's been on my heart, and someone will comment with, well, I can't do this, and if this happened to you, and I've got all of these things happening, or through email, or in passing, or in conversation, and I am guilty of this. I am guilty of this. It is the human condition to focus on the negative. We have to train ourselves to focus on what we can do and possibility as opposed to limitation. Why are we wired that way? For survival. We're wired that way for survival. So we are wired to focus on the things that are a threat or focus on the things that we might need to address. And when we do that out of habit and consistently, and we do it more than focusing on possibility, we drag ourselves down, we limit ourselves, and we energize those thought forms, we energize that emotion, and we pull more of it to ourselves. We don't want to do that. So what does it mean when you argue for limitations? Well, it's really a defense of a laundry list of all the reasons why you can't do whatever it is that someone's suggesting. So if it's, oh, let's go on a vacation. Well, I don't have the money for that. Go to the gym. Well, I have a shoulder injury. Eat well. Well, I don't. There's always something. And guess what? We all have things that we have to work through, or else we wouldn't be here. And so the thing is when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them because they become a prison. And this isn't positive Pollyanna or toxic positivity. It isn't any of that. It's focusing on what you can do. I did a podcast about that, focusing on what you can do as opposed to laundry listing all the things you can't do. Does that even feel good? It doesn't feel good. I will say I got really frustrated a couple of months ago because someone was trying to impose their situation and what they choose to do upon me. And I've been taking this for months where they're trying to impose their limitation, their thoughts, their beliefs, and it's projection. What they think is good for them is good for me as well. And the reality is it's not something I want to do and it's not good for me. And so instead of just saying, you know what, your goals are not my goals and what feels good to you doesn't feel good to me, I instead notice myself giving a laundry list of my situation. Like, okay, well, you have all this familiar support and you've got all these things going on in your life, but I don't. It's just a team of me. So don't have the parents, don't have the siblings. And I noticed myself doing that. I'm like, wait a minute, time out, stop. Yes, those things are true, but they're not limitations. It is just a reality because my soul came into this body to incarnate, to learn certain things, and it's made me stronger, and it's made me appreciate the present moment. It's made me value relationships. It's given me the strength to not stay in relationships that drag me down and that don't serve me and that do not fill my cup. So I don't have a problem letting go of relationships when they've served their purpose. Losing so many people has taught me that some things are for a reason, some things are for a season, some things are for a lifetime. And I have learned how to recognize when God tells me this relationship is ended and it's time to move on, because when you don't let go, you get dragged. And I've had those times where I'm getting dragged and I might stay 2 or 3 years longer than I should have. But I've learned how to let things go. And that's one of the things that all of the loss has taught me, is recognizing when things end, a new thing is beginning. This is how nature teaches us that. Seasons come. The trees die, everything dies. It's cold season. You all know how I feel about that. And then spring comes and everything births again. And my gosh, I watched my mint in my yard. One year, the mint is in a little patch. The next year, it's all over the backyard. It's multiplying and multiplying. And there's so many lessons in that. And so and some people are here to bear up underneath relationships and stay. There's something there that they have to learn. We all have different things. There's no right or wrong. It just is. And the more that you focus on possibility as opposed to limitations, the more you open yourself up to the very thing that God is showing you right in front of your eyes. And if the word God triggers you, I always say use universe, creator, whatever it is that feels good to you, that you use to describe the indescribable. So what I want to say is it's really easy because the world, we're in such a vibrational, I don't want to say a pull, but there's a very different, it's difficult for me to describe, but it is a very palatable shift. And it's easy with all of these shenanigans that have gone on for so long. And what I notice is people are really light or they're heavy. And I can actually go between, but I notice when I'm heavy. So I notice that because I'm so in tune with my body and because of my spiritual practice. And so it's easy to get just consumed with all the things that are going wrong. My challenge to you is notice how you feel when you do that to yourself. I had shared in the podcast about what you can do. You know, I had a knee injury and I still went to the gym and I did other body parts. That's because I'm focusing on what I can do. What is going to move me forward? And this is in any situation. So there's another situation where the same person that's trying to impose their beliefs and what they think is right. And we don't live the similar lifestyles. Their beliefs are not my beliefs. Their path is not my path. And it's irritating for me because I'm like, lady, move on. We're not the same. Just stop it. Just stop it. So instead of getting irritated the way I just said in a very irritating tone, because it is irritating, I can't control that. We cannot control what other people think, what they want, what they do. We can't control it. What I can do is come back into my breath and say, there's something here for me to learn. So let me focus on what I can do. I can shift my thoughts about this. I can shift my attitude. I can give it over to my higher power, God, creator, spirit, guides, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, whatever you want to call it. I can come back to my breath and I can just focus on what I can do. And that instantly makes me feel better. And it puts me in a place of power and it takes my power back. When you're constantly arguing about this isn't fair and this didn't happen, you know, whatever. There's a lot of that. And I get it. We have temper tantrums. We're like 2-year-olds in adult bodies where it's like, that's not fair. This person gets to do that. This always happens to me. And I get it because it sucks. And I know it's hard, but it doesn't serve you, does it? Do you feel better when you do that? I get having the temper tantrum. Have it, let it out. And then after all of that emotional charge is gone, now what are you going to do? Got to pick it up, keep it moving. I don't want to harp on this, but I do think it's really important. Remember, when you argue for your limitations, you get to keep it. So do you want to focus on limitation or do you want to focus on possibility? I want to focus on possibility. And the people that want to focus on limitations, they're not my people. They're difficult to work with. They're difficult to help because you're a toddler. You're having a temper tantrum. What do? They throw themselves on the ground. They're screaming, kicking. And what does the parent usually do? Walk away. You're inconsolable and you're being ridiculous. Stop it. So when you pick yourself up, regroup, focus on you're here. There's so much to be grateful for. You've got ears to hear. You can breathe. We have choice. No one can control your thoughts. No one can control your thoughts. You have the power to choose what you focus on, and you have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to choose your attitude, and that's pretty awesome. So let's go into a healing. You can uncross your arms and legs and focus on your breathing, and I will turn the healing on. Okay, and so it is. Friends, I want to thank you for being here. And thank you to everyone who has left me a review. And for those of you who left me donations, I really appreciate it. And if you're not on my newsletter, you can do so over at blendedinsight.com. And I just want to wish you a beautiful week. Take care. Bye-bye.